COO. First order of business, consider approval of the minutes from September the 9th, including the records of the public hearings and also the public hearing from September the 24th.
I'll move.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, the questions on the motion to approve the minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say no. Motion carried. Public comment, we always offer opportunities for anyone who wishes to address the committee on matters of interest to the committee. Do anyone from the public wish to speak before the committee?
I'm on the agenda, right?
Yeah, this
Okay, so I'll wait till then.
the public hearing or whatever, yeah. I should have mentioned that. So if there's no one wishing to address the committee and no objection, we will close public hearing and move on to the review of payment approval reports.
They were sent out, should have been this morning. I just got them.
Yeah.
This morning.
8:53 or something.
Yep.
Does anybody need a copy?
We need one to sign, I know that.
I've got a copy to sign here. For land info, all we have is the
Yeah, I guess I'll grab one.
Verizon Wireless. For zoning, all we have is some supplies, $29, and 2 phone room notes. So, these are the copies to sign.
So you, I need a writing instrument.
I don't have a, get a pen.
All right, I got one over here. Anyway, I was a little bit confused. Usually they send them from finance office, sends them out. That's actually
I
the,
think they did, but we're a week earlier than
we are.
normal.
Yep.
So,
boy, I thought I saw, maybe they were for something else, but.
Yeah. Because otherwise I wouldn't be. It was, they had it, on the last agenda, it had it listed as today, because it is
Yeah.
technically like the second, but it's not the second Tuesday, it's like the second week, but it's
we're a
not.
week earlier than normal.
Yes, we are, yep.
So if you considered them, is there a motion to approve the payment approval reports?
So move. I'll second. Yeah.
Motion and second. Any questions or comments? If not, question on the motion to approve the payment approval reports. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say no. Motion's carried. Monthly reports. Hi, John.
Hi.
Hey, we could hear you without
Yeah.
having to speak.
So everything with us is pretty short and sweet. We've been doing the parcel updates as we get them from Rebecca and getting those input into the system. Fire numbers, we did 8 in September, and I think there were 7 that Peyton had went out and did yesterday. We have been working quite a bit with Crossroads and the Sheriff's Department dispatch, getting some of the updates put in place for our road crossroads, which helps those guys quite a bit. Things have been going quite well. We did just get our grant application for the 2026 WLIA strategic grant and base budget grant. So I am starting to work on those, and at the next month's meeting, we'll be able to present that to the committee with a dollar amount that WLIA is proposing. So yeah, things are progressing pretty good.
Anyone have any questions for John? You have anything else to add, John?
Not really. Things have been, considering our staffing situation, being a little bit short, things are going quite well. I got to say that Nick and Heather and Johnny have really stepped it up, and I mean I'm impressed. He's holding his own. I was a little nervous. That's a lot to learn in a short period of time. So doing well.
Even when we're a little short.
Even when we're a little short.
Johnny's kind of tall, so that makes up the difference. All right, thank you, John. We move on to the Register of Deeds. You have a report from,
I do. Mary, she was traveling today, so she couldn't be here. Her report, short recordings in September were 290. Vitals issued in September, 166. WRDA Vitals Committee, new state registrar named Fiona Weeks will be attending the WRDA Fall Conference, and nothing to report on the budget report form.
okay, anybody have any questions? If not, thanks, Nick, for providing Mary's report. On to the treasurer's report. I see Missy isn't with us, but Rebecca is, so I take it you've got a report.
Sure. So in September, we have 4 plat book sales. That would be the 2023 plat book that we are still selling. Year to date, we have 55 sales of plat books. Rockford Map would send out postcards advertising that they had created a plat book of Rusk County. And we have had phone calls and people stop in the office who want to buy that Rockford plat book, but we have told them that that is not a plat book. That was made in coordination with us, and I don't know, maybe it backfired on Rockford because some of those people that came in and asked for the new Rockford book ended up buying our 2023 book. So that was good. And we're still moving forward with doing our own plat book in 2026 using Mapping Solutions as our vendor. And as far as the tax deeds, we have 12 total tax deed properties that we are prepping to sell. We've been to the Finance Oversight Committee. They have set the minimum bid prices on those 12. 3 of the deeds, or the 3 of the tax deeds that we are going to sell are from the 2020 delinquent list. We couldn't sell those last year because there was a change in legislation about how the profit from those sales was to be distributed. So they will be included in this year's sale. So there's 3 from 2020, 9 from 2021, so a total of 12. And those are being prepped right now to get ready to be listed on Wisconsin Surplus online auction website. And upcoming for 2022 delinquent taxes currently, there are 121 parcels with 82 people being the owners of those 121 parcels. So I would anticipate that will get whittled down over time to about the same number that we currently have for this year's sale.
Yeah, that's the pattern anyway.
Yes.
So we put them up on the auction page? Is that how we?
We do.
Yeah.
We've been doing that for several years now. So the only way that you can bid on it would be to go to the website, get a bid number, place your bids. Only after the sale has ended, any of those that haven't been sold would be available for sale for the minimum bid.
So is there a notice that people can, I mean, if you're just an ordinary, well, even an extraordinary person in the community, how do they know that?
So a couple of different ways. When we are having the sale, it has to be advertised for 3 weeks in the paper, and it will also be on the website.
That's what I was wondering, if there was a
Yes.
lot on there, so, very good. Anybody have any other questions? Okay, if not, thank you, Rebecca.
Welcome.
John, what do you got for zoning report?
Last week I thought it was gonna be really busy with sanitaries. It wasn't. Today was busy. It was 4 of them on just about every corner of the county, so. But that's been going good. I don't know, we'd have to look, see it. There's a handful more to get put in, like as far as mounds go. Kind of looking like they have till the end of this week. Next week's looking like rain, so. But pretty busy overall. Last month, our land use permits, we had 22 new land use permits, 13 new sanitaries. That takes us up to 280 land use for the year. Last year at this time, we were at 306. And sanitaries were up to 89, and last year we were at 92. 5 new homes went up in the month of September, and we're at a total of 388 RV permits, 4 of them of which came in the month of September. So some people moving stuff on the property or some that we found that have been sitting there a while. So overall, pretty good. We did have a couple citations. The one that you all know about with Jason Raffco. He got a citation for not meeting the setbacks requirements, that he had a date by August 19th. We also sent him an official letter of steps going forward that you all read as well. So, and then we had another guy on the flowage, had a grading permit and went about 7,000 square feet over what was allowed and graded within the 35-foot buffer. Nick and I met with him, kind of came up with two plans with him while we were there to, let's figure this out so we can all be happy. One plan was obviously to do some restoration, well, both plans are restoration, but, and just get another after the fact grading permit for the additional grading that was done outside the 35-foot buffer. And then it was to put some trees back. And once we said put trees back, he lost his mind. And I said 12 trees on the edge of the property. So basically we had those
So
two.
he didn't lose his mind because he violated the permit.
No, he didn't. He wasn't mad about that. He was mad that we said he had to put 12 trees back on the side of his property.
Yeah.
When it was very clearly stated in the conversation with him where and what he was gonna grade. And it just went overboard. We had the guy that did the excavating work out there as well. I notified him saying that you could be cited as well. He was willing to work with it and do whatever had to be done. Our first plan was do it this way for no citations. And the second was, well, you're gonna get them. The operator obviously was like, yeah, I totally understand. That's a great plan. We'll get this fixed, Obviously, we'd look at doing it next year because we're getting too late. But once I suggested putting 12 trees in, it went south. And the last thing he says, well, then just write me a citation. So I wrote him two citations and also an after the fact permit, and then he'll be required to restore the 35-foot buffer that they filled in. So haven't heard from him, so he must not be too mad, but.
So if you get a citation, that doesn't mean you don't still have to.
Oh, he still has to, yes, he still has to. So like the grading that was done outside the 35-foot buffer, it would have been allowed had he had it on his permit. But if he would have had that much on his permit, I would have been like, we need to pump the brakes here and we're going to go down and actually look at this, So it was technically could have been allowed because like I said, it was outside that 35-foot buffer. But what was inside the 35 feet from 35 feet into the lake was not. And that he has to restore now, which is going to be excavating down right at the lake. There was an old road that was cut in there and they filled it right in. And it was specific on his plan and our conversation that you will not be touching that old road. Nope, we're going to leave that as is. Because his property had a natural slope to that old road. It was cut in probably before the Dairyland was even built. And then it went right down to the lake and the whole thing's gone now. The only thing, remnants of it you can see is on the neighbors where it cuts through, so. But no, the citations do not, he still has to restore his 35-foot
What
buffer.
about the trees?
The trees, no, because they were outside the 35. He cut his viewing corridor to the width that he was allowed. You're allowed 35 feet per 100, or 35%, but only up to 200 feet. And he had that cut open to where it was allowed, but I was adamant when I talked to him on the phone about it that you are not allowed to pull stumps. And they're all buried because they all got pulled and moved to different areas. So, so I haven't heard from him, but he's got a date set. I think it's June 12th of next year to have that 35-foot restored back to its native site, or as close as possible. And we do have elevation layers and stuff that can show us where it would be, so.
And have to restore the road.
Well, that's the thing, is a section of that road goes through his 35-foot buffer where he filled it in. So he'll have to that's gonna have to come back out. As far as where the old road goes, no, he'll just pay the after the fact grading permit. And,
Is there additional fees on that?
yeah, it's 2.5 times the original cost. So it's like $437, I think, for the permit.
Is that on Lakeshore Drive?
Point
Point
Road,
Road.
right off,
Oh,
just
yeah,
west of
yeah.
the airport there, yeah. So he talked to the neighbor, and the neighbor said, no, well, you have your grading permit, just go ahead and do all this. And I finally said, is the neighbor, part of the zone, in the zoning department? No, so probably don't take advice from him.
All right, such fun. Anything else?
I got yelled at by an old couple today because they're mad they had to put a mound system in because for 65 years, their system they had worked just fine and they showed me where their water just ran out over the hill. I
Oh,
said,
but it
I'm
did go over
sorry.
the hill.
Yeah, it did. Well, it doesn't, he told me, he's like.
It's not backing up
if
in the
this-
yard.
He said if the soil here didn't perk, there would be a lake here. And I said, well, it's all running downhill. He didn't want to take that for an answer, so.
You know, you gotta always be careful when you're talking about being over the hill.
Yeah, that's.
And old people, yeah.
And old people.
That's kind of the idea.
And Heather's been doing a fantastic job in the office, holding the fort down while I'm running out and doing this stuff. Getting a lot of people's phone calls answered, and giving them the information they need, so.
Very good. Thank you, John. Anybody have any other questions?
He did.
Nick, what's going on?
Real quick, I will reiterate what John said and John Fitzel. These guys have been doing a fantastic job, keeping the office running, zoning. Just from the land conservation side, a couple of things. I'm scrambling, I'm trying to get 2 more final wetland restorations in this year. I think we can still get them done. And a wildlife scrape. And Lee Lake, we did not get the total drawdown that we wanted on the lake for the wild rice restoration we're trying. We got about a little over a foot of drawdown. I wanted, trying to get close to 3. We only got about a foot, but it's enough to start with this year. We'll see, we'll let it go over the winter and then raise the level back up in the spring and see what the wild rice.
You trying to have it come back, or what are you trying to do?
Yeah, what we wanted to do was draw the lake down over the winter to freeze out the perennial aquatic plants that are there. Because wild rice is an annual, it comes up from seed every year. And so if we can knock back the perennial aquatic plants, that'll free up the seeds in the spring of the wild rice to.
Did somebody go out there and harvest that then?
There have been, yeah, there traditionally, there's been a pretty good population of rice on that impoundment, but over the years, it's been crowded out.
Yeah.
So we're hoping we can start to kind of rehabilitate it. The plan is do the drawdown this year, let it overwinter, bring it back up, and then next year, do not do a drawdown, but do a reseeding. And then the 3rd year, do a full drawdown. And then on the 4th year, hopefully that'll really.
Got a bunch of wellheads out there when
you're
you stock the pond with them.
Did we redo the dam there a few years
No,
ago?
what pond? I don't know what pond.
The whole outlet structure was redone in 2005.
Okay, I remember.
There's a joint project with Glyphwick, DNR, and the county to redo the outlet structure.
Still the same?
It is.
Still got that gate there?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird design, I think. The way the outlet structure is made, you can't really get the full drawdown of the lake unless you pull the big bathtub plug at the bottom, and I don't want to do that quite yet because I'm not sure if we can get it back into place.
Yeah.
That was my question, and why, I wasn't sure why you couldn't get your desired drawdown, but you answered that question, so.
Because the way it's a bottom draw pipe and the way it's designed, the outlet structure has a concrete box in the middle of the trash rack, and we can only draw it down about 1.5 feet at most with the stop logs that are there. But at the very bottom of that structure, there's a big metal plate in there that we'd have to get an excavator in there to put a chain on it and pull it up in order to get the full drawdown. And I'm just worried that if we,
You'd be lucky to get that back in.
I know, that's what concerns me, is we pull that plug up and
Mud flat.
not be able to get
No.
it back in, or it breaks, or, so we'll evaluate that in year 3.
It used to be a pretty good place for ducks, wasn't it?
It still is, yeah.
Still is, yeah.
It's a nice little spot.
And honestly, if we can rehabilitate the rice population, that helps ducks. And it's one of the primary foods of ducks is rice.
Wild rice and duck, what could
Exactly right.
Yeah. What could be better?
Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, right. It isn't. Away we go. Okay, I think we're bumping up on 3:20. Committee will now convene a public hearing to consider a conditional use request to allow an accessory structure on a lot without a principal structure in the town of Thornapple located on Thornapple Road in Ladysmith. John, read the public hearing notice, please.
Public notice is hereby given to all persons in the town of Thornapple in Rusk County, Wisconsin, that a public hearing will be held on October 7th, 2025 at 3:20 PM in the Rusk County Government Center Boardroom, 311 Minor Avenue East, Ladysmith, Wisconsin, 54848. Relative to a conditional use request to allow an accessory structure on a lot without a principal structure on the following describes the state, southeast quarter of the southwest quarter, section 23, township 35, range 7, volume 45, page 888, with easement. Site address is Thornapple Road, property owner Dale Oswaldson, 9605 Bluebird Lane, Marshfield, Wisconsin. All persons interested are invited to attend said hearing and be heard. Please contact the zoning department with any questions. Written comments can be submitted to Rusk County Zoning Office or J. Runstrom at ruskcountywi.us.
Very good. Thank you. So we're now in a public hearing and we'll take any comments or testimony that you should offer.
Okay, I'm Dale Oswaldson, I'm the owner of the property. I've been
Look a little like your dad, I think.
yeah, well, that's what everybody says, so
Yeah, well,
I take this
yeah,
off.
but now you really look like
Now I
him.
look like him a lot more. Anyway, so I was pretty much graduated from Bruce High School, been resident of this community for, I call it kind of home, even though I live in Marshfield. And so I have 80 acres from the old farm. We used to operate like 2,000 acres. I also ran an on-the-farm dairy that we supplied milk to different schools, Flambeau, Hawkins, Ladysmith, Weyerhaeuser, Cameron. Had Creamy Creations in town. I was chairman of the Chamber of Commerce. Under the 2.5 years I was chairman, we got grants to hire a full-time thing. We incorporated a lot of the other communities that had small chambers, Bruce, Flambeau, Sheldon, of course, Ladysmith. And we put it under one umbrella and had an administrator that we hired. So I have a vested interest in this community. And my mom's 96. She lives on the home place. There's just 40 acres left in her trust. And Potter, the farmer, rents all our agricultural land. And I have a backhoe and a dump truck and brush hogs and other things and ATVs that I operate on my land for recreational purposes and some for just keeping farm roads good for Potter that rents for me. And I don't know what's going to happen with the 40. I don't want the house. I don't want to be a landlord and rent it out or anything. So it'll probably come up for sale. And so my equipment will no longer be able to be stored at my mom's property. So I need a building to house that equipment. And so I want to build a shed back on my land. As you see, there's an easement through that 40 that my mom currently owns. And so I'd like to keep my stuff up here so I don't have to trailer stuff from Marshfield to here. It just stays here. And so that's the purpose of the building. So they said I could put an RV there to meet that 5-mile radius. I said, I don't want to, I'm not going to have an RV there. You know, I'd rather pay for the special hearing and present my case and say, can I get approval for the building? And that way we can keep it clean and I don't have to misrepresent having an RV there so I can build a building. So any questions, I'd be free to answer.
No, I don't have any questions. Anybody have any questions? If there's no questions, no objection, we'll adjourn the hearing. And John, you've got some staff recommendations?
Yeah, so staff recommendations for the conditional use permit for a storage building on the property without a residence. Permit is based on the application submitted at time of approval. This permit is approved for a 56 by 30 storage building. The building shall not be used as sleeping quarters or for human habitation. No plumbing or plumbing fixtures shall be installed in the building without first obtaining a permit for a septic system. Annual inspections shall be made by the zoning office to verify that the building is not being used for sleeping quarters and that no plumbing has been installed. The permit shall be null and void if substantial progress has not been made on the project within a year of the date of approval. Finding facts, property is owned shoreland and forestry. Private garages, carports, and accessory buildings where no principal structure exists on the property and the owner does not live within 5 miles of the property are permitted by conditional use permit under 50-144-2 of the Rusk County zoning ordinance. Town board signed the conditional use permit application. Zoning committee held the public hearing on October 7th, 2025. Surrounding land uses include forestry and recreational. Adjacent property owner is owned by the family with a residence. So my recommendation would be to approve it. It's all family land around it, so.
Motion to approve?
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the permit incorporating the staff recommendations as the conditions. Does anyone wish to offer any additional conditions by means of amendment? If not,
Sure it's big enough?
Yeah, it's big enough.
That's what they say. They're never quite big enough,
Well,
but
when you build a garage, you say you never build it big enough. And my garage in Marshall, I built it bigger than what I wanted to, and 5 years later, so I didn't build it big enough.
no matter how big your garage is and how many vehicles you own, there'll be at least one of them in the driveway.
That's right.
Well, what happens in the garage is, it's good for your vehicles, but then you got 4 feet on each side. You said, well, I can put this one more, I can put this here. Pretty soon, there's 6 inches between the car and the.
Crawling out the sunroof, yeah. Oh. So we do have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say no. Motion passes and the permit is granted.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great day. Good luck hunting out west.
yeah, thanks.
I was eavesdropping,
That's all right.
and I was salivating at the same time.
So, were you done with your
I
report?
did, yeah.
Nick? Okay. Let's do the CSM just for the heck of it.
All right. CSM brought in by Rusk Surveying, Ezra, to break up some property in the town of Flambeau over off Loga Lane, which is off Bell School Road, owned by Rick Romice. Basically, he's wants to lot off 3 properties. They're all way oversized for what he was looking at doing. So lot sizes are correct, and then they're doing an outlot here for a road and a cul-de-sac that'll be privately owned because they didn't want an extension of Loga Lane. Kind of works backwards. They had to go to the town and I asked the town, will you extend Loga Lane? And then they denied, even though he didn't want it. But so everything is good on our end. The only thing I talked to Ezra about it is that we will have like a condition on it that it'll be approved upon completion of that road and cul-de-sac. That was the only conditions on it. As far as the survey goes, we're good, but it won't be recorded until that road is built to standard. And the town of Flambeau will notify me of that, so.
All right. Anybody have any questions? Is there a motion?
So move.
Your second?
Second.
So you have a motion and a second to approve the CSM with the provisional condition of completing the road. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say no. This is carried. All right. Item number 2 under discussion and possible action is to gather any additional letters that might have come in on the tourist rooming house in the town of Washington that we looked at last month. What did you get?
I ended up with 4 more.
One more?
So I think one was a repeat, so from the last, and it got sent again. You want me to read them all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to be safe.
One of the newest ones was that one, Dave, that you had recommended, and I did put that conditions in about the driveway. This is from Bruce and Judy Wares, that live on County D, or have a place on County D. We are responding to the Wolf's request to rent out their cabin. We are located in the adjacent lot at W9970 County Road D, Holcomb, Wisconsin. Across the highway on the lake side of our property, we share an access drive to the lake. We are concerned about renters blocking our access to the lake with their boats, vehicles, and UTVs. We have 7 grandchildren, all between 9 years old and 10 months old, that come up here to enjoy time with us. They love swimming by our dock, catching frogs, playing games in the front yard, etc. With additional people, boats, UTVs, and vehicles, we worry about their safety and quality of their time. It is very busy on the road and the lake already without additional people that do not know the area. Many renters are there for a few days of partying, as we stated above. When our grandchildren are here or other friends of ours, we do not want them subject to possible swearing, loud behavior, excessive drunkenness, etc. from a group of strangers many times over the summer. Right now, we have a safe and friendly neighborhood. We do not want strangers coming in and ruining everyone's relaxing lake experience. We also would like to point out a couple of things. We heard he said that their above ground sewer tank was for cleaning fish. We have never seen them go fishing. When his sewer overflowed, we didn't see it, but we heard about it right away from the neighbors. This email wasn't sent at the earlier date because we have been on vacation. We hope you will take all of our comments into consideration before you make a final decision. Please respond to this email so we know that you have received it. Thanks, Bruce and Judy. Lynn Cothran. Dear Sir, I am writing to strongly oppose the conversion of the private property owned by Dan Wolf into a rental Airbnb or bed and breakfast or any other form of daily, weekly rental property. The property shares a driveway and adjoining land to that of my parents, Francis and Doris Haney. Your record should show that the property owned by Mr. Wolf was originally owned by my father and was bought with the intention of being able to enjoy the peace and tranquility of the river and the surrounding land. We recognize that over the years, more and more buildings and structures have emerged along the lakeshore and Highway D, and slowly that peace and tranquility is being eroded. The land was sold to Mr. Wolf as a private sale to an individual. Please do not allow this property to be turned into a commercial rental, as this will likely result in destruction of the shoreline and the land surrounding my parents. Given the individuals who rent out Mr. Wolf's proposed rental property will have no vested interest in keeping it near and tidy, and no vested interest in adhering to the peace and tranquility neighboring homes were built to enjoy. In summary, please deny this request from Mr. Wolf to turn his privately owned home land to rental property. Another one, to whom it may concern. I am part owner of the Haney property, which shares a driveway to the Wolf property, and I want to say no to them renting out their house. We share a driveway, and the wear and tear, the noise of vehicles and AVT going up and down the driveway will be disruptive to us. How can they have a 3-bedroom house when it is only built for 2 and the septic system? Will that hold up with the extra people? In the past, we have noticed a septic overflow and a dog was killed when it ran all over the place and onto the road. We only expect a family living in the house, not different people each week up and down. In and out, driving on our road that runs in front of our place. Have you inspected the property? Checked out that all the codes have been followed and will be? Thank you for letting me share my concerns. And another one. Hi, I'd like to voice my opposition to the proposed Airbnb or room rental at W9918 County Highway D. This is a residential area and I feel allowed would A, open the door to others to follow suit. B, bring in much unwanted noise and disruption to the neighborhood. C, increase traffic, trash, and litter in the neighborhood. D, drive down property values. For these reasons, I am opposed to this request. Thank you, Rod Bates. That's all.
Okay, we fulfilled our commitment to consider additional testimony in regard to some mix-up at our last meeting, so I don't know if the circumstances have changed.
No, the only thing was added was about the parking, because that's one of the biggest concerns. So I added in here, along with the off-street parking shall be provided for a minimum of 3 vehicles. Street parking shall not be permitted. The addition to the conditions are parking shall be limited to the driveway of the property owner and shall not impede on or block the entrances of the shared portions of the driveway to the property or the lake. So that'll be additions to the conditions. As far as some of the stuff they you know, with the sanitary and stuff, that's Health and Human Services.
Well,
From
that's,
what I understand, they go through and inspect everything
but
too.
it's all hearsay.
Yes, and it's all hearsay. There's
Accidents
nothing.
or whatever might have happened.
Yeah, I told them, like, if you guys got something, like, you gotta have documentation, not just tell me. I mean,
The
so,
septic system's a modern septic.
it's a modern system. It's built for the 2-bedroom house, or was it 2 or 3? I can't remember what it was. That might be in there. But it's a modern system. It was put in.
It's not running across the ground and over the hill.
No, it'll probably work just fine.
There's a shared driveway.
It's built for a 3-bedroom mound system.
Yeah.
Was put in 2003. So by the previous owner.
And that.
The driveway just shared coming off the
Yeah,
road.
it comes off, it makes a turn and the one goes this way and theirs goes up to their house. So they actually have a pretty decent length of driveway. I've been by there a few times now.
Yeah, I have too.
And then right across the road, yes, is a driveway that goes down, which is everyone's lake access. So that wouldn't be allowed to be used as parking for the rental property. So,
Yeah, I think, some of that, I think the highway department tries to limit the number of driveways and kind of,
I think it was that and the guy's house that goes to the right, he owned all of that. So when he put it in, he just went in and split it. And then, I mean, other family members and whatever own the stuff around, but this guy has the house kind of in between.
and there is an easement,
Yes.
so there's no reason for any conflict as far as I'm concerned.
And kind of like the last, I mean, all the other, or some of the other concerns about swearing and you just make a complaint with the sheriff's department like you would if it was anybody else
Well,
or whatever, you know, I mean.
yeah, you got a loud neighbor that's revving his car engine in the middle of the night, you know,
I
you're.
mean, yeah.
And that's all in here about, you know, excessive noise and stuff is in here, so.
That is getting to be really a busy road, though.
Oh, it is, it's just packed. I mean,
45 miles an hour.
In the last 5 years, it's just, it blew up.
Yeah, in the last, I mean, I guess I couldn't even guess how many houses or how many places were built in the last
Yeah.
5 or 7 years, but
And they're
dozens
huge.
of them, yeah, they're huge.
Yeah.
Well, not all of them are huge,
No,
but
but I'm.
Yep.
large.
kind of modern looking houses anyway, it's a.
There was some pretty good parcels on there and literally 2020 hit and, I mean, people started selling because of the, it was, getting a lot of money for it. Well, then guys were splitting it up and people were buying it and.
So, a motion to approve the conditional use permit would be in order.
I'll move.
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion? The conditions were, we read those last
Yeah,
month, with the exception of the additional one.
the additional with the parking.
Yeah. And I don't know how you limit, we obviously off the road or parking, but if they want to fill up their whole yard, that's.
They have to have a minimum enough driveway for a minimum of 3 vehicles, which they do.
If you drive down through there on a holiday weekend,
Oh, the roads are packed.
and there's a lot of houses down through there that have a dozen cars parked in the driveway. I mean,
Yeah.
It's obviously you go to your relatives that has the lake house or the river.
Where you go.
That's where you go, I mean, yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, as far as, and I mean, that road, you really can't park on the shoulder.
You can't park on the road, no,
Even if
No,
you,
no.
They just redid that.
Yeah, and, yeah.
with the shoulders, they come out and they basically right down, so.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, all those in favor of the motion to approve the permit signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say no. Okay. Budget updates.
All right, I believe that you were sent, you have the budget update?
Yes.
For budget 130, land information, everything is on track, no concerns. Budget 132, the land info grant, there is an issue with the contracted services. For some reason, there was a significant jump in the year-to-date contracted services in September. And I have a meeting with finance tomorrow. I'm going to sit with them and figure out what that jump is. But it went from 80,000 to 120,000 in September, and we had no invoices submitted. So I don't know why it changed that much. I'm meeting with finance tomorrow to figure out what's going on there.
What contracted services do we have?
None. That's why I'm questioning why there was such a,
Coded?
something is miscoded. And I think, it looks to me like there was an invoice from 2024 that got miscoded as a 2025 charge.
Yeah, because we don't have any contracted services. It's gotta,
We have done nothing to.
it's gotta be that.
Right. So I'm thinking it's a miscoded invoice. I'm meeting with finance tomorrow.
Or somebody's pulling a fast one on you and they're charging you for their expenses.
Yeah. So that's my only concern with that one is just there, it looks to me like a miscoded invoice. I'll meet with finance tomorrow, and I'll have a better update, next month and figure that out, so. And in zoning, the 690 budget, no concerns at all. We're right on track. We can meet our target on that one as well, so. I
I'm
have-
supposed to sign.
I have the ones here you can sign.
Huh?
I have the forms here you
Yeah,
can sign.
okay. I'll do that later. So I haven't quite figured out the way they provided for the agenda. I'm an advocate for not approving reports. Because if there's an error in the report and we've approved it, it doesn't make sense to me. So I think the motion, if anything, would be a motion to accept the report.
Oh, I'll make that motion.
Your
Are
second?
you talking about the one that with the miscoded or
No, I mean, if,
the general finance report thing?
yeah, right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Yeah, and I tried on the one that I had a concern with, I did make a note in there about the concern.
Yeah.
And, what we're going to do about it, so.
I think that's a good point.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, have a motion and a second to accept the budget updates. There's no further discussion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
All right.
Anyone opposed, say no. Motion carried. Campground compliance review.
I will turn this over to Kurt.
No, yeah, so. So all I'll say is that, I had a local campground owner in my office like 4 times, that said that, yeah, he was working on his, he was working on his issues, and then he knew that a complaint came in, and then all of a sudden the hammer was coming down, and he was, blaming it on just because there was a complaint. And then on my end, like I said, the only other campground we'd ever dealt with was that went over in the town of Rusk, I think it was, and then when we got there, I think it was the town of Rusk, when we got there, there was an existing campground, and this new campground was gonna be a different owner, but next to the existing campground. And then it was like, that one wasn't in compliance. There was campers that were actually over the property line. And you said that one all got,
The one.
corrected all that, But I mean, I'm just saying, the only 2 campgrounds that were ever talked about since I've been on here had compliance issues. That's all I was saying. And it was just, I don't think there's any big concerns. I just don't, that's all. I probably made more out of it than it needed to be, but that was, whatever. My ear was getting bent saying that, if it wouldn't have been for a complaint, I could have worked this issue out or whatever, but, then I got somebody who was very, very voiceful, and then, then the hammer come down. Whether that's true or not true, doesn't matter, but perception is what people think, So that's it. Do I think that you're not doing your job, or Yvonne wasn't doing, I don't think so. And I even said before, as a matter of fact, today, I was driving around and I look in the backyard of somebody's house and I see a swimming pool. I'm like, dang, got a swimming pool. Now I gotta send a letter because they don't have a fence around it, So I know what you're going through. I know what,
Between 2 competing campgrounds?
it's sort of, yes. Yes, it is. And that's not, Jason was in trouble long before that, or he had issues before that, but that's his perception that because there was, complaints from a competing campground that all of a sudden the hammer gets set down on.
But hassle between the 2 of them is started at day 1.
Yes.
Second one came in,
Don't you like being on the town?
and it's gonna go on forever.
Yeah, correct. And that was my only thing.
I get, and you're right, and I thought of that, yesterday, because I was down, I had to do an inspection for the, can't
Campground, which they're all up to code.
remember if that's
She will not let
actually.
it go.
No, I know it.
But down by the D-Bar campground,
Oh,
they got the Snowmobile Club has their
yeah, I
building, they put in a sanitary, so it's like,
heard that anyway, yeah.
once you get down that way to just kind of zip through, if you don't see anything like wedged in where it doesn't, that is, I don't know if you, that's actually a really nice campground.
Yeah.
You can see it from the road, but I drove up in it. They got space. They probably could pack them in more, but they have it so everyone can be parked, facing, but I'm not gonna disagree with that either, because there's some of these that you should probably go in and check.
How many campgrounds do we have? How many licensed campgrounds in the company?
I'd have to go look, because I saw one the other day that I didn't even know we had, down by west of Fish Lake.
So I didn't, I said I didn't mean anything more by it than,
But I think you bring up a good point,
Yeah.
big picture.
Yeah,
Do
I just
we
didn't know it, because.
set up some kind of a inspection schedule, once a year?
I don't think you'd have time to go once a year. If you got there once every 5 years, maybe even.
Or once
Well-
every biennial?
Yeah, the thing is that would be, is make a list of which ones we have. And you know what, if I'm doing an inspection that day down in that area on a sanitary or something, then, or anything else, because we can pop in anytime. We don't have to call them and say, hey, I'm coming down for an inspection, It is a courteous thing, maybe just send a letter. You may see us in and out, just do an annual inspection.
Just a thought. And I know everyone's,
Or do you do just a random selection?
Yeah, because I know there's.
Every year you randomly select 3?
Mm-hmm.
Or a function of the number.
Right,
Because we got more and more going in every year.
and I
That's
honestly,
gonna be fun. I think there's 2 or 3.
I don't have a clue how many there are in the county. I don't even have
Yeah.
close to a clue.
Like you said, some function of the number, so if it's 20,
This one is always gonna be a fight.
It is. It is.
say 10%, you randomly select 10%,
Yeah, right.
and every year.
That was my only comment. And there was not,
Make them all unannounced.
nothing meant by it, nothing, But at least that way, You know, you're not just relying
But
on, you're not just relying on complaints.
Not announced, but you let all the campgrounds know that's,
I could
hey,
show
we've
up
got a new
anytime.
policy. Every year, we're gonna randomly
Taking a
select
Statistical
10%,
random sampling of the.
random sampling, and you may be selected.
Yeah, so then you can say, we're not picking on you, you just got randomly selected, you know? So, yeah, it's not like, no one can say you singled them out and you're picking on them or whatever, you know, it's just,
Yeah, you gotta treat them all the same. I
yeah,
mean,
I agree, that's kind of how I
Problem
look
is
at
You
it.
can randomly select 99%. But if you get a complaint on the 1%, you still have to deal with the complaint.
Well, that's true.
And so, you know, the fact that we got a complaint, if the complaint was frivolous, or if the complaint was not, you know, not legitimate, that would be something for us to consider. But the fact of the matter is that, you know, the complaint is legitimate, and it's an issue, it's about an issue that the department has been also working with. So it's not like, gee, we didn't know that.
I mean, the only,
We got the
like
complaint.
this case, I mean, the thing is, the only complaint we've ever got is is basically what, you know, I've never got a noise complaint there. I don't know if the town has.
no, never
You know,
have.
that's one thing we have, and I have heard of reports like, yeah, they had fireworks there, but it's usually 4th of July weekend.
Right,
you
and
know.
he does always get a permit.
Well, he's allowed to do it down there, but the individual campers in the campground, there's not allowed. And that's part of the conditions, but it's 4th of July. People usually are okay with it, you know, but.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying too, you can't like ignore a complaint if you get a complaint,
Right.
but at least you can say
But
that,
it's not bad, because what if somebody just goes, well, I got room, I'm gonna sneak 5 more campers in. We never know about it, you know?
Well, we can't afford to have a staff to the point that we could
No.
do an annual inspection on everyone.
Not on every one, but,
So,
you know,
if you look at Health and Human Services, when it comes to, you know, they do the same thing. They can't inspect everything either
yeah.
every year, so they go, you know, give preference to complaints.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that, I just,
So what if we work up a policy, say, you know, X percentage annually inspected? We'll write up a policy like that and present it at the next committee meeting.
Yeah, whatever makes sense based on your staffing levels. I mean, you're not gonna go out and,
even if it's,
Dave says you're not gonna go out and hire 2 people to inspect campgrounds.
Yeah, I think you need to add something in the policy that says that if you're going to do it randomly, you know, pick them out of the hat, then no one will be picked out of the hat, you know, within 3 years of the last time they got picked out of the hat or
even
something.
if you send a letter that says you're gonna, on the next, you know, renewal, or I'm not sure how the camper permits go or the campground permits go, but just send a letter saying that, you know, we're gonna do a policy of random inspections, and that's a self-compliance thing right there, then it might be like, oh boy, you know.
I think that goes a lot further than anything else. It's
Correct.
just letting them know that you might be picked
Oh,
at random.
I better tidy this up, or whatever, you know, yep, I mean, that just makes your job easier when you do get there then maybe, you know. Not trying to give you more work, really, I'm not.
Well, like I said, it was like case in point, I was right down by the D-bar.
Yeah.
And I had to go through the campground to do it. There's a lot of times when I do these inspections, I drive right past them. If I
Yeah,
don't
just stop
have,
for 15 minutes.
yeah, if I don't have another inspection, it's buzzing. The thing is, like, you know, and that'd be on me, plan ahead, like, yeah, I'm gonna go by this campground, so pull their permit. Basically, how many campers do you have? Are they in the right spots? Buzz through, do a quick count, make sure nothing's out of the ordinary and stuff's not being pumped on the ground, and
Exactly, yep.
Whatever complaint we'd received,
but whatever complaint you receive, then you gotta follow up on it. That's
but
different.
you know, that's not the only complaint that we've received
Yes,
on that scam.
on the one.
Understood.
Well, if somebody were to say, hey, we got issues down here at D-Bar, you know, with the loud noises or whatever, well, I don't know how to do that, cause I'm not going down there at 10 o'clock at night, but, you know, maybe if a deputy's in there, they can.
But that becomes a compliance issue with the permit itself.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and I think we need to remember too that, you know, there's incompleted plans that were agreed to.
Mm-hmm.
So theoretically, whether we got a complaint or not, at some point, we were going to follow up on those agreements that weren't kept. So,
I'm not defending what's going
No,
on.
I know.
At all, not defending it, just.
but I know people perceive that they're being picked on or whatever. And we're not threatening to.
We'll develop a policy document and present it to you guys next month.
Good.
Have some IT guy write you up a random sampling that takes into account all
Yeah, you
this.
can put stuff into like a,
Yeah, and it's
Whatever,
one,
and
yeah, just picks them out random and pulls the permit
Like a-
number, and away you go.
When I was in the reserves and we had to do random drug and alcohol testing,
Yeah.
we just put everybody's social security number in a hat and stirred it up.
There you go.
And then pulled it out and read off
You're
a
it.
social security number and pulled out another social security number and read off that one and
Here you go.
till you had your 10 out of 100 or whatever it was, you know, and be done.
like the MLB drug test, random guy all of a sudden hits about 5 bombs and gets tested 3 times. It's random.
Yeah, exactly.
But these ongoing violations at certain campgrounds, I mean,
Yeah.
they still need to be followed up.
Yeah, so so that's what would, happen is, if we go out and find a violation, if the owner's out there that day, I said, hey, this is a violation, it's gotta get moved, I will be sending you a letter. And we'll give you, 3 weeks to address the issue. If it's not, I said a second letter and probably a citation, which most of them aren't gonna have a problem with it, so.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's been a couple I've like lured in down there. I've never been to that one. It's down, it's kind of off on its own down on Potato Lake. There's a really small one right next to it. That's where they dug the pond. That's like bunch of old folks there that,
Be careful with that now. eh?
well, they wanted to get out of the lured, they were down and lured in, but it was too rowdy of a crowd for them, they said. So they
So
all,
they went across the road?
yeah, so they can play cards, during the day and stuff and still sleep at night, I guess.
All good. Yep.
Do they both have a bar?
No, that one, I don't know what
The
it's
upper
even.
one doesn't.
The upper one, that little one,
No.
they're like permitted for 12 or 13 campers. I think they had 8
8.
in there. They don't have a bar. It's just
But the other two do.
Lured In does.
And I see them advertising for.
Yeah, Lured In does. I haven't been down there. Apparently they have good food, but I've been there.
Okay. Staffing updates.
Real quick, John is officially the interim zoning administrator now.
Yay for John.
All right.
And Heather is working her way into the zoning technician position. We'll have to go back to personnel and straighten some things out, but we'll get her in that position as well, so.
She's studying
Sorry,
right now
Mike.
for her POUTS inspector.
Getting ready to take her test, so.
Yeah.
If she comes to the next meeting and she's pouting, we'll know.
Yeah,
Pouting?
POUTsing.
Great. Any other?
No, that's it. No.
Okay, out of county travel, Peyton Simmons, October.
Yeah, real quick, Peyton wants to go to the West Wisconsin GIS User Conference down in Dunn County on the 28th.
Is there a motion to approve out of
I
county?
make a
travel?
motion to approve. Training's good.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve out of county travel as requested. All those in favor signify by saying aye. And opposed, say no. Motion's carried. I believe we're done. 3:59.
350.
If there's no objection, we are adjourned.
There is no objection. Nope.